So I just got done watching Inuyasha season 1, episode 13, The Mystery of the New Moon and the Black-Haired Inuyasha. This was what we call a lore-heavy episode. This episode changed things up a bit, made us understand certain things about Inuyasha's power and the rules within the magic, at least within our protagonist, Inuyasha being the protagonist, not Kagame. But so this episode opens up with she's still in the original world, in the modern day, and we see she's on cleanup duty, but she can't do it because she's got to go to feudal Japan, and we see Hojo once again. They're really hammering home Hojo, and I think that the main I will probably see him get his heart broken. I think that would just be a narrative considering they had this guy pop up in the last 3 episodes. But I realized he looks a lot taller in his school uniform than he did when he visited Grandpa in the last episode. And she was gonna go on a date with him, and she says yes. Apparently, she's never been on a date before, and I don't honestly remember if I went on a date or not, to tell you the truth. But I think she just like has to. I think she just gets stuck in the feudal era, and then it doesn't happen. I don't think that we got a conclusion. Maybe that'll pick up next episode. So this episode basically they're on a boat. They're looking around. They're like, yeah, it's not no sacred jewel stuff going on. And then in the nick of time, big white hair spider trap thing, and there's the spider's head monster is what the monster is in this one, or the evil spirit or whatever you want to call it. And this woman, was it Nazuna? She falls in Inuyasha in his Spider-Man. I noticed there's like just because this episode had like these spider soldiers and stuff, and I realized Inuyasha himself has some similarities in character to Peter Parker and to Spider-Man, and also in his like the way that he moves, at least to the physics of Inuyasha, are akin to a Spider-Man of sorts. But he's a fox daddy, right, or something like that. So they get lured into a village, and Inuyasha is extremely hesitant in a way that he isn't normally so. He's always willing to check out and look for danger, but he's not so keen this time. And Kagame picks up on that, and she's wondering what's going on. My theory, which was wrong, was that Inuyasha would be um, he would run into somebody he knew from his past and he recognized the spider thing, but not in some case. So they go to this temple and they're very like they don't like demons, but the older guy's more willing to have Shippo and Inuyasha and Kagome stay there, and he invites them in for the night, and they get terrorized by the spiders in the middle of the night, and Inuyasha starts to fight them off one by one. He gets totally screwed. He gets completely eaten up. Shippo steps up a bit, and it doesn't play out. It's good to see him step up, but I'd like more out of this character. I think he's kind of cute and charming, and I hope we get an arc out of Shippo. But all that being said, at least some development. Inuyasha, kind of disappears, and they all flee, and then they find a black-haired Inuyasha, which was in the title, which was interesting. And I thought maybe it was another character, and then quickly you understand that this is Inuyasha, and that on the every season when the moon and the whatever align or something like that. Let me see exactly what it was. I got it written down here. Like all half demons, he loses his demonic powers during a certain period. For Inuyasha, it's the new moon. So basically, Inuyasha is completely stripped of his demonic abilities and can't fight. And Kagame has to go step up because they left the sacred jewel. They left it behind. She forgot it behind. She goes after the sacred jewel, whatever. All this and that, and then that. But the main real thing, so it turns out the priest that brought them in was the spider villain all along. And his whole plot was to lure Inuyasha and his friends there because he knew they had the sacred jewel, and he wanted the sacred jewel, right? So this is our ultimate story driver is the sacred jewel, and he actually beats him down pretty bad and absorbs the entire sacred jewel and becomes this massive, super strong stone giant spider guy with all of his little spider soldiers. Gets Inuyasha in a web, and he poisons them. And at one point, they find a nice place to flee, and they last a couple hours, as far as you can tell, in this place with Nazuna, Shippo, the little flea guy, who at one point he sucks the blood out of Inuyasha's neck and blows up the size of Shippo. It's kind of funny. Um, and Inuyasha is being particularly forward about Kagome, and he asks her in his sort of delirious, beaten down state if why she was crying when she came to save him, why she was crying, and she uses the sheath somehow, but that makes sense. It's just how it goes. She's near Inuyasha. She's also magical. Something's gonna work, right? And it's great to see Kagome kicking ass. Like her taking charge in this episode, it was great. Like it was because it's not like your archetypical. I mean, it is very archetypical, but it's not like most anime. You don't see so much of the damsel in distress really stepping up, unless it's entirely driven like a Sailor Moon like this. But where you have the half demon strong guy, he's usually the one saving the day. But no, that's not what's going on here at all. She totally is very important to things actually working out in most episodes, and I think that's great writing, excellent characterization. Um, he says that she smells good, and that he was just really moved by the fact that she was crying, and she was thinking, wow, Inuyasha. They're really moving forward with the romance here. Anyways, Inuyasha does save the day. The dawn rises right as he's about to get all messed up by the big guy, and he saves the day. And they get the oh yeah, this was interesting actually. Yeah, they get the sacred jewel back, and the sacred jewel has calcified all of the pieces together inside of the body of the evil spider priest guy. And so it's all in one little piece now, which is probably more convenient in a lot of ways. But and it looks like they've gotten about one kit, I would say, of the jewel, based on my small understanding of the scale of this given series. But the romance is getting fun. I found this to be a high energy, high power, high stakes, really high narrative highs and lows. I got really bummed out, and it got really, really like Inuyasha just kicking ass, Kagome just kicking ass, and then them also being in complete utter peril and danger. And this was a great episode. This was awesome, super high energy, super super stimulating episode, and yeah, it was just great. And the art was particularly good with both the river and with the sort of dusk kind of amber skies of the temple that they stayed at. Thanks for watching.